नाज़रीन, जैसा आप जानते हैं कि पाकिस्तानी अमेरिकन बहुत तेज़ी से अमेरिकन सियासत में आगे बढ़ रहे हैं। इस साल कई लोगों ने कांग्रेसमैन, मेयर और सिटी कौंसिल के इलेक्शन में हिस्सा लिया। कुछ लोग कामयाब हुए, कुछ नाकाम हुए, लेकिन ये इसका आगाज़ हो चुका है। एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है पाकपैक, जो अरसे दराज से कायम व दायम है, जिसको पहले अपना ने इस्टेब्लिश किया था और सऊद अनवर उसके रहनुमा थे और लीडर थे, जिन्होंने पाकपैक को आगे बढ़ाया, जिसमें हिलरी क्लिंटन, जो बाइडन जैसे लोग भी आ चुके हैं और उन्होंने इसमें हिस्सा लिया है। लेकिन इस साल इसके जो सदर हैं जनाब, वो असद मलिक साहब हैं, जिनका ताल्लुक मिशिगन से है। इज़ ए रेनाउंड एंटरप्रेन्योर बिजनेसमैन, और उनकी लीडरशिप में वाशिंगटन डीसी के बहुत ही मारूफ होटल हयात एजेंसी में पाकपैक की तकरीब हुई, जिसमें कांग्रेस में इनकी बड़ी तादाद ने हिस्सा लिया और उसको कामयाबी से हमगार गए, जिसमें तकरीबन लगभग 40 के करीब कांग्रेसमैन आए और उन्होंने अपना इजहार ख्याल किया, जिसमें पाकिस्तान ट्रेड, इन्वेस्टमेंट, पाकिस्तान पॉलिटिक्स, PakUS रिलेशनशिप पे जो है बातचीत की गई और बहस की गई, जिसमें हमारे कैलिफोर्निया के मारूफ बिजनेस लीडर इमरान शरीफ ने भी हिस्सा लिया और उन्होंने पाकपैक को बाकायदा ज्वाइन कर लिया है। इसके अलावा डेफिनेटली डैलस, न्यूयॉर्क, वाशिंगटन डीसी, न्यू जर्सी, ह्यूस्टन, हर जगह से लोग आए और इसमें शिरक हुए और उसको कमी भी हमकिनार किया। आइए देखते हैं हमारे दोस्त जनाब वाशिंगटन डीसी जनाब आसिफ सिद्दीकी की ये रिपोर्ट।
अस्सलाम वालेकुम नाज़रीन, कैपिटल टीवी वाशिंगटन इस वक्त वाशिंगटन में मौजूद है और पाकपैक का इवेंट हो रहा है। पाकपैक के प्रेसिडेंट जो हैं इस वक्त असद मलिक साहब हमारे साथ मौजूद हैं। आज का इवेंट ज़बरदस्त हुआ और हम आपको उसकी झलकियाँ भी दिखाएंगे, लेकिन कुछ सवाल सबसे पहले असद मलिक साहब से पूछते हैं। असद मलिक साहब, सबसे पहले अस्सलाम वालेकुम।
वालेकुम सलाम।
असद मलिक साहब, अब बड़ा ज़बरदस्त इवेंट हुआ, तो मैं चाहूँगा कि आज के इवेंट की कुछ ख़ास बातें बताएं कि एक तो ये कि ये इवेंट क्यों होता है, जो नए देखने वाले हैं उनको ये पता चल जाएगा, और पाकपैक और पाकिस्तान, अमेरिका और पाकिस्तान के रिलेशन में पाकपैक का क्या रोल होता है।
So this event we have is an opening reception event. We invite all the congressmen. It's actually one of the largest events in Washington. We had over 40 congressmen come to talk about Pakistan-U.S. relationship, Pakistan-U.S. relationship, along with what can be helped with the flood situation, aid for terrorism, trade, investment into Pakistan, and those are the issues that we talk about with the congressmen and how they talk back to us. Pakpac's role, that's role, to build a better relationship between the United States and Pakistan, and we do that through these efforts of what we can do with the diplomatic side, as well as from trade and investment within Pakistan.
अच्छा, हमने देखा कि बहुत सारे कांग्रेसमैन आए, तकरीबन 40 के करीब हमें पता चला कांग्रेसमैन ने आज पार्टिसिपेशन किए। हम कुछ लोगों की तो आपको झलकियाँ दिखाएंगे उसमें से। आज की क्या इम्पोर्टेंट कांग्रेसमैन क्या कहना चाह रहे थे, वो पाकिस्तान से किस किस्म का रिलेशन रखना चाह रहे थे?
They all feel that Pakistan is a very important strategic ally of the United States, and that is what they wanted to relay, that message that that we are friends. We've been friends for 75 years, and we want to continue that relationship moving forward. And inshallah, a lot of these congressmen that came here will inshallah be visiting Pakistan also within the next year as well.
अच्छा नाज़रीन, हमने कुछ प्रोग्राम कवर किया है, कुछ स्पीचेस कवर की हैं, तो आप झलकियाँ देखें और असद मलिक साहब को इजाज़त दीजिए। आसिम सिद्दीकी।
Thank you so much, Dr. Salim, and thank you all for being here. One of the wonderful things I have in Iowa is, as a former director of the Department of Public Health, I was very instrumental in the J-1 visas and had the pleasure of bringing people from Pakistan and India to Iowa to practice. So to all my fellow physicians, thank you so much for coming here, being willing to relocate, go through all the very difficult process of getting licensed to practice in the United States and filling that void that we have, throughout our country and especially in rural parts of our state. So thank you for that, and the relationship that we all have, and the desire that you have to see, markets and capitalism and the ability to change your circumstances no matter where you come from. It's part of what drives people to the United States, and one of the things that we want to see remains a very vital part of our country. And your addition to that is helping us to maintain democracy and capitalism. So thank you so much for that. I know you've got other speakers, so I won't take long.
I'd like to welcome Congressman Chet Bergman. He represents the Michigan 1st Congressional District since 2017. He serves as the House Armed Services and House Veteran Affairs Committees. Welcome. Thank you.
Well, you know, since Marionette spoke without a mic, I'm a Marine, so I come with a built-in microphone. If you want me to dial it down, I will. First of all, as I look around the room, what I see in so many cases, whether you're an elected official or one of the members of Pakpac, I see a lot of friends. People who I met in Michigan a long time ago. I'm not going to call out Dr. Malik, but I will call, if I never had a brother, but if I had one, it would have been Dr. Malik. But so many of you have been so gracious over my rough short 6 years in Congress to either host me in your home, whether it be in Dallas, whether it be in Michigan, to dialogue about what issues were important to you and what updates I could provide to you on what kind of things we were trying to do here in Washington, D.C. And if I've said this before, I will say it again, because the only thing I feel bad for the American people for is you do not see every day rank and file Democrats and Republicans working together all day, every day, trying to hash out good policy and good law. That's what makes us who we are as a country. Because whether you were, if you are an American, your family came here from somewhere at some point. And we are truly that melting pot in the world that is the beacon of freedom, the beacon that other countries, but especially the people who populate those countries, strive to be. We can never, ever, ever let our friends, our allies, or our citizens down when it comes to government doing the right thing for the right reasons. Having said that, I'm proud to be among you. I'm proud to just know all of you, and I look forward to the next time, whether it's Dallas or Michigan or some other event that you all invite me to, because I look forward to, and I'll admit here a little selfishly, you all have the best food I have never had at an event. So thank you, and let's celebrate. Thank you.
We have, just going to go a little bit out of order. Congresswoman Chu is going to be introduced by Dr. Imran Sharif. Please, if you can come up to the podium.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us, and I want to congratulate Pakpac team for organizing a wonderful event. I want to introduce my really good friend from California, District 28, Judy Chu. And before I talk about her achievement, I really want to share our sincere apologies and our prayers for the people of Monterey Park. Judy Chu was the mayor of Monterey Park, council member, and now the congresswoman in the same district. And there was an unfortunate event happened on the day of celebration, which was the Chinese New Year. And there was unfortunate 11 casualties and more than 10 injured. So our sincere apology and our well wishes for the people of Monterey Park. So Judy Chu is a member of powerful House Ways and Means Committee and Subcommittee on Health and Small Businesses. And she has done a lot of great things for CA28, and she is a strong supporter of Pakistani community. Every time we need anything in California, she's always there for us. So Judy.
Well, thank you so much. Imran is such an incredible leader, actually, in Southern California, and very, very active with the Council of Pakistan and other organizations that are very important over there. Yes, I represent a district in that includes Monterey Park, California. There was just on Saturday a mass shooting, and so actually I have a lot to take care of right now, so I'm going to just be here very briefly, but I did want to stop by. I think it's so great that you are involved in politics, that you are making your voices known through this PAC, and that your presence is felt here on Capitol Hill. I do have to say that in Southern California, I'm proud of our very large Pakistani community, and in fact, I just attended an event where the sister state relationship between Punjab and California was established. And yeah, it was a wonderful event. There was an MOU signed and everything. And there is a reason for this sister state relationship. Punjab is the largest province of Pakistan. California is the largest state of the US. Punjab has a very active agricultural industry. And of course in California we have Central California, which produces so much of the produce of this area. And you have Lahore, which is a cultural center, yes. And guess what we have? Hollywood. So it's just another example of the close relationship that we can develop. And I just told all of them and the Pakistani delegation that I will do everything in Congress to make sure that that relationship thrives and that we make sure that it is a close one. Thank you so much.
I'd like to introduce our president of our Pakpac, Asad Malik, to the podium, please.
Thank you. I'm honored to introduce a great man who is a fellow Michigan Wolverine. Go Blue! Go Blue! He is in Arizona. He was the mayor of Phoenix, and now the congressman from that area, Greg Stanton. And I want to thank Congressman Kildee for putting him just now onto the Foreign Relations Committee. So that is his new committee assignment. So, but I'd love to welcome Congressman Greg Stanton.
The Fiesta Bowl in Phoenix together. Darn it! Well, it's a tough game to TCU, but go Blue. Next season, we're going to get them. I appreciate it. Yeah, Michigan is way overrepresented in this room, isn't it? When I was mayor of Phoenix, we had a very fast-growing Pakistani community, and we want to keep growing that community so we can catch up to Michigan and be fortunate like Michigan to have such a large and important community. I don't know if Judy Chu has left the room, but it is an honor to serve with her in so many ways. She reminds us that as the United States is developing our policies as it relates to China and the economic competition with China, that we do so in a way that we're going to win that economic competition, but we don't do so in a way in which our rhetoric becomes such negativity that we put Chinese Americans at risk here in the United States. So she may have left, but let's give her a round of applause for Judy Chu's one head. Great job. This organization, of course, thank you for supporting myself and these other members, the bipartisan members that you have here today. Your support is very, very much appreciated. This organization stands for good governance, support for education, security for Pakistan, and civil liberties here in the United States of America. And those are issues you need to keep pushing us on in a bipartisan way. Force the members that are here to work more closely together, because there are going to be some real challenges on all of those issues moving forward. So this organization has just such strong bipartisan credentials, and you support members across the aisle, and we need that moving forward in this next cycle. So thanks for supporting me and supporting these other great members of Congress that are here represented. And in my new assignment, thank you, Mr. Kildee. With my new assignment, look forward to working even more closely with Pakpac. Thank you.
Dr. Sri.
Welcome, I'm Dr. Jilly. I'm from Dallas, Texas, and I'm honored to introduce our fellow Texan from Houston, Congressman Jesse Fletcher. She is a congressman for the 7th District of Texas, and she's in the Congress since 2018, and she's a member for Energy and Commerce Committee. Here's Lizzie Fletcher. Please give her a big hand. It's a Texas.
Thank you so much, Dr. Khan, and thanks to all of you for being here and for welcoming me. And I am thrilled to be here representing the great state of Texas, and specifically, that's right, City of Houston. I represent Texas's 7th Congressional District in Southwest Houston, and I'm so proud that Houston has one of the largest Pakistani populations in the United States. It's 3rd in the United States, and about more than 35,000 Pakistani Americans live in Houston, many of them in my district in Southwest Houston. So I am thrilled to be here with you all and to see you here engaging, both welcoming the new Congress and making your voices heard and your presence known. Whenever I'm home, I'm always telling constituents how important it is to engage up here, to make sure that people see you, hear you, know your issues, because we all, and I can say this I think for every single member of Congress that I see in this room that I have the privilege of working with, we all care, and we receive best when we hear from our constituents and when we hear from people who come here and tell their stories and tell us what's on their minds, what matters to them, and tell us how to help them. And so it's really, really important that you are here and that you've chosen to spend your time engaging with members of Congress and helping move our country in the right direction. It has certainly been a challenging few years for all of us in many different ways. And I agree with my colleague Greg Stanton, who was speaking earlier about the incredible leadership we've seen from Congresswoman Judy Chu and others who've really worked in these very difficult times to bring us together and to make sure that we remember our purpose here is to serve the people, and that's all of the people, everyone in this country, to fight back against some of the bad ideas that we have seen here in Washington, and to make sure that we're advocating. And it's such a privilege for me to represent the incredibly diverse and dynamic district that I do. A lot of people don't know, I mean, Texas is obviously a big state and a state that people are moving to, and in Houston, 1 in 4 residents was born in a foreign country. And so we believe that our diversity is our strength, that everyone's varied experiences and beliefs come together and make something better. And that's the view that I bring to the Congress from the 7th Congressional District. And I'm so delighted to see you here doing your advocacy, and I very much look forward to the opportunity to work with you, to hear from you, to connect with you, and to do what we can together to move our country in the right direction. So thank you so much for welcoming me. I'm glad to be with you. Look forward to working with you.
I'd like to invite Mr. Hamza Skander. There are also refreshments, so please help yourselves as well.
Good evening. I'm going to be introducing Congresswoman Lisa McClain, Michigan's 9th Congressional District, a member of the House Armed Services Committee, as well as Ms. McClain serves on the House Education and Labor Committee, a great friend of Pakpac and a supporter of Pakistanis. Congresswoman Lisa McClain. Yeah.
I was too busy chatting.
You're good.
So sorry. Well, thank you, everybody. I'm Lisa McClain from the great state of Michigan. Go Blue. Thank you all for being here. And thank you all for what you do. In this day and age, it is critical that we can work together with friends and allies, especially in the business community, the healthcare community. It is critical because we are truly stronger together than we are divided. And I think it's easy for us to focus on what does not unite us versus what does unite us. And we have a lot in common. So first and foremost, I want to thank my colleagues across the aisle, because in order to get any substantial legislation moved, you have to work together.
My goodness, don't put it on social media because we'll all be, ridiculed. But at the end of the day, coming from a business background, I was just talking with my colleague from Arizona, is it used to be, I got about 80% of what I wanted, you got about 80% of what you wanted. We both wish we got more, but at the end of the day, it's a good deal and we're all better off. And that's what we need to focus on, is what can we work on together to move our relationship and our alliances forward. And there are things that we can do. So I want to thank you for putting this together. I love my Michigan representation. Thank you for doing all of what you do to make this country and our relationship better and stronger. Thank you.
I'd like to introduce my very good friend, Congress Representative Mark Chicano. He represents California District 39. He was initially elected in 2012. He is a ranking member of House Veteran Affairs Committee, House Education and Labor Committee, Subcommittee on Workforce, Higher Education, Subcommittee on Economic Opportunities, Subcommittee on Health, and a member of multiple caucuses. And all these committees are really important for us as a Pakistani American, and also for our motherland, which is Pakistan, and now our country, USA. Whatever we can do to improve ties between the two countries, we are here to support you. And thank you for doing all the great work. And recently we have some issue which we presented to Mark, and Mark's staff took care of it within a few days. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Sharif. Thank you. Thanks so much. I'll be very brief. I just want to make sure I drop by and pay respect to Pakpac and the work it does on behalf of the Pakistani diaspora in the United States. And as this country, our country, the United States, contends with the challenges abroad, whether we're dealing with Ukraine, whether we're dealing with the economic challenge posed by China, that we're upholding a global economic rules-based order, rules-based, and that we never pursue our interests from a position of fear and insecurity. Why not? Because we can rest on the strength of the diasporas of so many different nations that connect us to allies. Allies are the strongest suit and the strongest hand that America has to play. We have to remember that it's our alliances. And what is that alliance always based on? A respect for human dignity, human rights, a respect for democracy and transparency and governance, that we're against corruption. That's one of the best things about coming to America, is to see a country that's relatively free of corruption, and that you can pursue your profession, pursue your small business dreams, and not know you're going to be shaken down. And that this country wants to insist on that being a condition of relationships with every other country, and that this is an attractive point. And so we can be confident in attracting allies, making those alliances stronger. And this is what Pakpac is about. It's the strength of this diaspora connecting us back to Pakistan. I have so many Pakistani constituents, so many in the medical professions, but all professions. So I want to make sure that we pay attention to this alliance, and that my office is here to serve Pakistani Americans and all Americans. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. If you can come.
I'd like to welcome our congressman from my district, Congressman Dale Kildee. He represents the Michigan 8th District.
Well, thank you. I'll just say a couple of things quickly. First, and most importantly, to express my appreciation for your help. As many of you may know, I had a difficult election in this new district that was redrawn as a part of our redistricting process, a very competitive district. And Pakpac stepped up and has been enormously helpful, and I'm grateful that you contributed to giving me this opportunity to continue to serve in Congress. But to say a couple of other things. One, some of you may have heard me say this before, I succeeded in Congress. 10 years ago, my uncle, Dale Kildee, retired from Congress after 36 years. I mention him because when I was a young child, I knew that there was the United States, because I lived in that country, and I knew that there was Pakistan. It was the second country I became aware of as a young child, because my Uncle Dale lived in Peshawar, studied Islamic history, and came home the year I was born. And I was educated on the history of Pakistan to that point by my uncle as I grew up as a child. The very first person I ever met from another country was one of his professors, Dr. Manawar Khan. It was such an interesting moment for me to now realize that I represent part of the Pakistani diaspora here in the United States. And it kind of brings it home for me. It reminds me of my late uncle, whom I miss terribly, and the contributions that he made to me. You've been great friends. And of course, friends are candid with one another, and I think we all have to acknowledge that one of the goals that we all share, those of us in this room anyway, is to improve, increase the relationship between the governments of the United States and Pakistan. We have some work to do. And we have some work to do within the United States government to address and approach our relationship, I think, in a more productive way than we have recently. There's been some positive signs lately. Certainly what Pakistan's experienced, in the last several years, the terrible flood, the economic issues, right now, issues around energy. We need to be a better partner and a better ally and a better friend and find a way to find the common ground that we all try to seek with our communities across the globe. I think we all need to commit ourselves to do that, and you have been very good in making sure we understand those issues. And I'll do everything I can to do my part to make that reality. So thank you so much for your advocacy, thanks for your help, and thanks for reminding me of one of my earliest lessons in life about Pakistan itself. Thank you. And I'm on a cane because I had surgery conducted by somebody some of you may know, Dr. Wahid Akbar from Michigan. Yes.
په سرمایه‌کارۍ باندې بهترین منافع تاسو د خپل علم نه ترلاسه کولی شئ. تاسو روزانه یو ګام پورته کولو سره پرمختګ کولی شئ او غوره نتیجه حاصلولی شئ. د غیر ملکي طالب علمانو لپاره په امریکا کې تعلیم کوم چې د AMEDFS په نوم باندې هم پیژندل کیږي ګڼ شمېر آنلاین سرټیفیکیشن پروګرامونه وړاندې کوي کوم چې تاسو ته په هایه متحده کې د خپل کاري مهارتونو زیاتولو کې مرسته کوي. AMEDFS په نړۍ کې د طالب علمانو لپاره په سلګونو سندونه او کورسونه وړاندې کوي. د زده کړې لپاره هیڅ حد نشته. تاسو د AMEDFS سره د دنیا د هر ځای نه د خپل سهولت او وخت مطابق کورسونه کې داخله اخیستی شئ او زده کړه کولی شئ. زموږ سرټیفیکیټ پروګرامونه ارزان هم دي کوم چې ستاسو مهارتونه مضبوطه کولو کې او علم زیاتولو کې مرسته کوي. د ټولو نه غوره برخه دا ده چې تاسو د خپل خوښې وخت مطابق کې کولی شئ. زموږ پروګرام کې بزنس انفارمیشن ټیکنالوژي، پروګرامینګ، پروجیکټ مینجمنټ او نور ګڼ شمېر کورسونه شامل دي. زموږ مقصد په نړۍ کې هر چاته د معیاري تعلیم ترلاسه کولو موقع ورکول دي. د نورو معلوماتو لپاره وزټ کړئ زموږ ویب سایټ amedfs.com یا کال وکړئ